So today we are going to start payroll configurations. So as a part of payroll, we are going to cover the normal legal entity, the organization structure. Actually, this particular part, legal entity reporting unit, legal address, all these things are payroll structure unit, legal employer. These configurations are as a part of global HR, but because why I have mentioned these things here is, these are required things for payroll processing. So we are not going to again create all those things for our payroll configurations. So what I'm doing, I will use the existing legal entity which I have created with the PSU, and because you have already seen all these things as a part of your global HR configuration. So the actual payroll configuration start from your banks, payment methods, consolidation groups, payroll elements, balance, salary basis. So these are the things that as a part of your payroll configuration. So what I will do now, I'm going to show you the company what I have created as a part of global HR. Then we are going to use that company for our entire payroll. So end of the session, we will process the payroll for, maybe we will hire a couple of employees in that organization. Then we run the payroll and see how payslip is going to be generated. That is what in the payroll training. Okay, so let me log in. Okay. So if I go to setup and maintenance, okay, let me show you that legal entity what I have created. Manage legal entity. So Abstec USINC. This is the company that I have created. So I will just take you to that company. Okay, so this is the company. Company is created in US. I have enabled this company as a payroll structure unit and legal employer. You know that. What does that mean? Then legal entity HCM information. This is again also part of your global HR configuration. Okay, so here we enter workday information. What is the worker number generation, employment model. Then you go to federal. So for which state you are implementing. Suppose this particular implementation is for a client who is operating from US. Obviously, his legal entity is registered under in one state, right? So that state information you are going to enter here. In the federal, you are going to select the TRU. So is it a government contractor? This particular organization has more than 100 employees for pay period. So all this information will be given by the client. So you are going to select the information here. Just is it a payroll parent legal employer, or is there any parent legal employer for this company kind of thing you are going to select here. Position synchronization, anyway you might have already seen in global HR. What is a position synchronization and all? Yes, it is a payroll. Then payroll statutory unit, because we enabled this company as legal employer and PSU. So PSU is also enabled. So here we give legislative data group and what is the fiscal year start date. Then we have to go to the corresponding state. I think it's Washington. So here you are going to select this information. This information again will be given by the client. So this is about your normal legal entity HCM information. And then you have legal reporting unit HCM information. These things I think you have already seen there, but I'm just again, just opening the pages and I'm just showing them. Okay, this is what a legal reporting unit. Okay, in the legal reporting unit, you enter, it's a TRU and reporting establishment. You can enter whether, again, you can go to your Washington state because this company is registered in Washington state. So you enter again certain information here. Again, this information will be given by the client. So it's a prior tax amount. What is the balance? Out of state wages. Do you have any out of state wages? Is there any interest due to employer? All this information is again specific to the client to client. Again, if you are implementing for any other country, you won't see all this information. Again, this information is only specific to US. Okay, then there is a concept called calculation cards, which I will cover at a later point of time. At this moment, only we have a legal entity, legal employer, PSU, legal reporting unit. Okay, and yeah, legal address anyway is a part of. Now we will see configure payroll legislation. Configure payroll legislation. So before starting our actual payroll configurations, there are two important configurations you have. One is a configure payroll legislation. Second thing is manage a territory. One second, let me just see the task. Here. I think it's not here. You can go to fetch. Yeah, define features by country or territory, or features by country or territory. If you go to there, again, it will be this only. The task name is features by country or territory. This is a mandatory definition. Basically, why we are using, what we are defining here in the features by country or territory. So here you have to, whatever country you are implementing, you go to the corresponding country. Suppose we are implementing for US, select the US, and you have to set this particular, what is this? This is a selected extension. Selected extension. What is this selected extension? So here you have three options: human resource or none, payroll interface, payroll. So which option you have to choose? Suppose in your implementation, you are implementing only global HR, absence, compensation, whatever modules other than payroll. Okay, so you are not implementing payroll in your implementation, but any other modules you are implementing, but not payroll. So if that is the case, you have to choose that option as human resource or none. Okay, human resource or none. Second option, payroll interface. When you choose the payroll interface option, suppose in your implementation, you are again in this case also you are implementing other than payroll, any other modules you are implementing. On top of that, you are just maintaining salary in apps in HR, and there is an integration to your Fusion to say any third-party payroll system like ADP or any other systems. If that is the case, then you have to choose payroll interface. So when you select payroll interface, there will be certain features enabled to hold your salary, and there will be certain standard interface, especially a fusion to ADP. There is a standard interface is there. It's a technical people will take care about that anyway. So all those features will be enabled when you select payroll interface. So when you select payroll, so obviously if you are implementing payroll along with other modules in your implementation, then you are going to choose payroll as a extension. So if you are not implementing payroll, not maintaining any information, choose human resource or none. If you are not implementing payroll, but you are sending some data to third-party systems, then you choose payroll interface. If you are implementing payroll in your implementation, choose payroll. This is one important thing. Okay. Features by country or territory. Basically, you are enabling features by country. You have every country here. You can just go to the country and enable that feature. The next task is configure payroll legislation. Configure payroll legislations. What is this task? So basically, you are configuring your payrolls here. Okay, one important thing here. There are a lot of countries, Oracle has already delivered legislative payrolls for a lot of countries. So all the payroll configurations are mostly predefined. Legislation is defined and all. So in such countries, you don't have to do anything. You don't even come here and do it. Nothing. It is just for your information. These things are there. Suppose there are certain countries where the legislation, payroll legislation, has not been given by the Oracle. In that case, you have to create a legislation for that payroll in the system. For example, if you take US is already predefined. See, not only US, if you look at that US, this is a predefined, right? Yeah, predefined. So wherever you see this enable, predefined. So US is predefined, UK is predefined, UAE is predefined, Singapore is predefined, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Netherlands, Mexico, all these countries are predefined, meaning Oracle has delivered the payroll legislations. For such countries, you don't have to do anything here. You just use this in your payroll configurations straight away. So if you can't edit here. What do we have inside that? If you go there, okay, what is the tax year for this country? What is the financial year? You know, all these things. Tax year, Jan to December for US. Which currency is using in this country? What are the payroll relationships, type mapping? Then element classifications. How many element classifications we have? So tax reductions, employer taxes, these are all specific to US country. So here there is no edit button to enable or disable or add, nothing. You see, all things are freezed, even payment types, check payment, electronic fund transfer, EFT, international transfers. There is no cash payment in the US. So that is a disabled. Even you can't enable here for US. Similarly, some balance dimensions, balance types, all these things are here in the configure payroll legislation option. So as I said, US is a delivered legislation. You cannot modify anything. You just come here and see what is there inside the payroll legislations. That's it. As I said, there are certain countries where Oracle has not delivered. If you see here, any country you don't find here. For example, Italy is there, Netherlands, for example, Norway, let's say. Where is Norway? No, there is no Norway here. Suppose I am implementing for Norway. Let's assume that. So you have to define that Norway legislation here. How to define? Click here, create new. So here you are going to, you see here again, if you are implementing Oracle Fusion Payroll, you must get approval from Oracle before you configure legislations that are not provided by Oracle. Don't continue unless you have this approval. Who is going to take care about this approval? Your client. When the system says you must get approval, meaning client has to get the approval from Oracle. Client has to buy a license, pay some fees to implement payroll and all. Then only they can implement a payroll here. So you have to choose the legislation for which country you are going to implement. You see here I see only few countries here, but when you look at the legislation, look at that, how many countries you have. Albania, Algeria, Andorra, I don't know, some of the countries I don't know, Austria. There is this Austria. See here, there is no Austria here. Argentina, Australia only. So I am implementing for a country, Austria, then you choose that particular country here, or any country. Every legislation, every country is here. Greece, Japan, Korea, Namibia, Norway, as I said, Norway. So what country you are implementing? Suppose I am implementing for Namibia, which is an African country. Let's assume that. You have to choose that, continue, and you have to select all these options. For US, we have seen, right? So what is the tax year start date? Because as of now, I don't know for Norway, for Namibia, what is the tax year. So you check with the client. Obviously, when you are implementing for the country, you should know tax year. You can check with your client what is their country tax year and what is their currency and which people are part of payroll relationship. All these things again go to next. Then you have to enable what are the element classifications you are going to use in your payroll. Suppose I want absence, imbalance initiation, direct payments, employer charges, information elements, tax deduction element, type voluntary deduction, pre-starch, social insurance, all these things, depending on, anyway, when you are taking the requirements from the client, you will get to know what kind of classifications the client has based on the elements. So accordingly, you are going to enable these options. So once you enable, again, there will be balance payment types. Okay, how are you going to pay salaries in this organization? So I am using check payment method or electronic fund transfer. I don't have any international transfer. I don't have any cash. Then enable only check and EFT so that after your payroll configurations, you can use only either EFT or check payment as a salary payment methods. So like that, you are going to configure this legislation so that you can use this legislation in your payroll. Okay. That's the reason you see wherever you see predefined, all those predefined legislations are non-updatable. See, they are freezed. You can't update. Locked. Okay. Any questions? Your voice is having a lot of noise. No, still we got noise. Am I only getting noise, or other people also getting noise when the person is speaking?
Yeah, it's everyone.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was asking, is it a one-time setup or like suppose there is a changes in future, then can we do it?
No. You can do it, but you see, basically it's a one-time setup. It's a one-time setup. You see, you can come back here, you can click on update. Suppose I have implemented already this one. You can come here, you can update here. You can, maybe today I don't have any cash payment method. Tomorrow, my organization wishes to go for cash payment method. Yes, you can come here. You can go to payment types. you can edit and you can enable, disable things here. You can do that, but suggestion would be it's a one-time setup. Don't update unless and until it is important. Especially you don't touch these element classifications and all, because what happens, you have implemented payroll and with all these element classifications. Suppose tomorrow someone else comes here and edit and disable this one of the element classification. What is that? What happens to the existing elements which are defined under that classification? They will not be, they won't work as expected. There will be weird behavior in elements and all. So suggestion would be it's only one-time configuration. Don't come back after some time unless and until you see the impact. If I change this, what would be the impact in the system? You have to do that impact analysis, and then only you modify this.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
When we are creating a new configuration for a legislation, it gave that message for Oracle approval.
Yes.
So is it pre-approved by the client or it goes for
No. See, when we are doing this configure payroll legislation, meaning our assumption is the client has got that approval from the Oracle. We can continue. There is no stopping. But if tomorrow Oracle finds that this client is using payroll without license, maybe they will sue or they will put a lot of fine. That's not our cup of tea, right? So obviously client has to get approval. And obviously our project management also will check that license, whether the client has got or not. Again, that is also our company project responsibility to see that licenses which the client has got from the Oracle.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. So now we are going to configure banks. See, again, payroll configurations, you can do the configurations from here. You can go to workforce deployment. Our functional area is a payroll. What is payroll? Sorry.
This is development.
Yeah, payroll. See, here you have all these banks, branches. You see, here you have bank branches, payment methods, consolidation groups, payroll definition, formulas, elements, all these things are here. You can configure from here, or else you can go to here, payroll. Under here also you can configure. They go to payroll calculation. See here, you have balance definitions. So again, event groups. We are going to see anyway, event groups, elements, element classifications, balance definition, formulas, object groups, payroll definition. Certain configurations are here under payroll configuration. Again, certain configurations are under checklist, certain configurations are under payroll distribution. So we have to know. Anyway, we will get to know once we know the system. Sometimes we go to checklist here. You see here, there is no, under checklist, nothing is there. Under payroll distribution, you have banks, things like that, I think. Payment methods, obviously under payment distribution, you are going to have payment distributions. Yeah, organizational method, banks, branches. So you can go like that. there is other way. Oracle has given a payroll option directly under My Client Groups. Instead of going into the payroll, you can go to My Client Group. There is a subfolder, payroll. Yeah, there we go. So here configurations, administration. Here you have event, organized payment methods, third parties. That's it we have here. So there are certain places usually our configurations, we don't come here for payroll. We go to setup and maintenance. From there we set the task and then we do the configuration, because it's difficult for us to see where this task is, which task. Obviously when you are used to system, you know that this task is available under the payroll payment distribution or payroll checklist or payroll calculation, wherever. But usually if you are configuring, I go to my way of doing for payroll is go to workforce deployment, go to payroll, then you see all the required tasks here. Manage banks, branches, and everything. Banks, branches, payment methods. So this is what I have here: bank, branch, payment methods, payroll elements, balance definition. These are the configurations we see in the payroll. So let's start with the banks. Manage banks. You have to choose the scope here. Obviously, you know that scope, right? You might have seen in your business unit and other places. So it is already under US legislation. So directly you can go to banks. Well, there are a lot of banks. So we also create one bank here for our payroll. Country, US. US. Okay, bank name. Basically, this bank is used to pay our salaries to the employees. See, as an organization, we are paying salaries to the employees, right? So obviously, we should have a bank account to transfer our salaries to all the employee bank accounts. So that's the reason you have to create a bank for our company transactions. So that bank we are creating here. Okay. So bank name, let's say, I'm just giving the same name, Abstech. Sorry? Someone say something. Okay, I'm just giving Abstech US Bank. I'm just giving name like that, so that this bank belongs to our configuration. Alternative bank name, if you have any other any other name for this bank, you can enter that name. They are all optional, but you can enter. Bank code, you see every bank will have certain bank code, so you can give the bank code there. Description, taxpayer ID, tax registration number for this bank. So this information we can check with the client to get the information from the bank. Obviously, our client will know this information because they have already managing this account in that bank, and they know all this information. So we can check with the client to get this information. And then address of this bank. You can enter the address. You can enter the contacts. Who is the contact person? Name, address, phone, email. So you can add address here. You can add contact here. Right now I'm not doing it. If it is there, you can enter this information. Otherwise you can skip it. It is not mandatory. It is just a bank we are creating. Save and close. So our bank is created. So you can directly create a branch here, or you can go to branches separately. You can create a branch there. Manage bank branches. Yes, I have a bank account in, let's say, a NetBank or any UCO Bank or something. But in which branch? So obviously, if I'm working in Hyderabad, let's say I have a bank account in ICICI. Which branch you have? Is it in Madhapur, High-Tech City? I don't know. Wherever you have opened the bank account, that branch you have to enter that branch here. So branch name, So I'll say corporate branch. I'm just giving the branch name as a corporate branch. Appstech US corporate branch. Again, the routing number of that branch, BIC code, because it's a US, you will have routing numbers, BIC codes, branch type, branch, I don't know, this bank branch type, branch number type, all this information. Again, we don't know which one. Obviously, client is going to provide that information by checking with the client, checking with the bank, and then we can just enter that information here. They're all free text and they're all not mandatory. Again, address of that branch, contact person in that branch. Obviously, you know that branch head or any relationship manager from the branch who regularly we used to contact for any operations. So we can maintain that branch address here and who is the contact person in that particular branch. That information you can enter here. That's what bank branch. So you can directly create a bank account here, or you can go to a separate task here, manage bank account. Manage bank account. Okay, so here. So what is the branch we have created? This is the branch we have opened, right? So bank account name. So usually what would be our bank account names? What would be our bank account names?
Individual person.
Individual person, exactly. Similarly, when you are opening, when you have a bank account for organization, obviously, whatever the registration name of that particular company, that name would be the bank account name. What is our registration name? So this is the name that we have, Appstech US INC, something like that. So this is the name that we have. So same name you can enter, or usually that will be the name. I'm just giving a 1, 2, 3 so that people have created a lot of accounts with the same, using the same company. System will not allow you to create a bank account with the same name. So I'm giving just suffixing with 1, 2, 3. But 1, 2, 3 will not be there in your real time. Remember, it's only your company name. Because if I use this one, someone might have already used this. So let's try it. You see? Red mark. It's in red. A bank account name with the already exist, enter the unique name. So that's the reason I'm just giving 1, 2, 3 so that it is our bank account. Bank account number. So you can enter bank account number here. And then currency, obviously USD, we are using USD. Account type. So this particular bank account is a savings account or current account. Is there any other account? So it is a checking account is nothing but organization account or current account. So you enter a description, IBN, check visit, all this information you can enter. You can just skip it. Now the important thing, account use. This particular bank account is going to be used for payroll. Yes, that's what we are creating for. Do you want it to use the same account for your account payables, account receivables also? If yes, you can enable this, or else you can disable it. What does this mean? What happens when I enable this? Usually, you see, these banks and all are going to be created by finance consultant and payroll consultant. Because you see, if you are implementing Fusion HCM along with finance, obviously finance people will create a bank account for their account transactions. So if you look at a general real-time perspective outside organizations, they are going to have bank account. They are going to whatever credits or debits are happening from that bank account, whatever receivables or payables are going to be happening in that bank account, and from the same bank account they are going to pay salaries also. If that is the case, yes, I am going to use the same bank account for my payroll purpose and account purpose. If it is account purpose, this information is some information you have to enter here. This general GL accounts, this will be taken care by finance consultant. That's what I said. Business unit access, security controls, all this information you have to enter. You see, if I am saying save and close, it's going to ask, it's a mandatory to grant at least one business unit access. So I am not using for account purpose. So if only for payroll, that's enough. My bank account number is there, my bank account name, this is the bank account name. In this branch, I have bank account for this legal entity. That's it. I'm using this bank account for my payroll. I don't have to maintain this information. This is related to your finance. Okay, then I can say save and close. This is your sorry, your voice again. Hello, your voice again having a lot of noise. Come again. Any questions? Hello? Any questions? Bank, branch, bank accounts.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a doubt.
Yes, please.
If an organization, this account we created this for a particular legal entity, not
Yes.
the whole organization.
Yes.
So when we are creating for an organization have many legal entities, so we have to do for everyone separately manually.
Obviously, right? Because you see, every company accounts will be based on their company name only, right? You cannot use the same bank account for multiple companies. Same rule. I cannot use my bank account for you. Your bank account is independent for you, and my bank account is independent to me.
I was asking there will be multiple legal entities. So for
how many? Again, depends on how many. If it is 5 or 10, you can create manually these things.
And can we use data loaders or type those things in this?
You can.
But it depends on the number. How many?
It's depending on number. Yeah, if you see how much time it took to create this bank accounts. I mean, because I'm giving training, so it takes this much time. Otherwise, I will create this one quickly, just in 5 minutes.
Yeah, right.
So even I can create 10 manually. But yes, if you have many, you can use data loaders. You can ask technical people to just create a data loader file, and then they can load the data. You just provide the data to them. That's it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So that is about your bank accounts. Now we are creating organization payment methods. We are creating organization payment methods. So what is organization payment method? So you can create payment method from, let's say, 1/1/2019. I'm just giving like that. This organization payment method is used. How am I going to pay salaries to the employee? Suppose I am using bank transfer for my salary payments. I am using check payments for my salary payments, or I am using cash payments to my salary payments. So if you are using these payment methods, you have to create them in the system first. Then only you can use these payment methods when you are paying your salaries to the employees. See, once we create this organization payment method here, when you hire an employee, for every employee, you are going to choose the payment method. Am I using this payment method, bank transfer, or am I using that payment method, cash payment method? So here I say hashtag bank transfer method. I'm just giving 1, 2, 3. It's already there, I think. Abstract bank transfer. Here you are going to choose, okay, this particular, if I am using this payment method, what is this? Is it a check or direct deposit or international transfer? And you are not seeing that cash payment method type here. Do you know why? What is the reason I am unable to see that cash payment type here?
So the checkbox was disabled there.
Exactly. In the configure payroll legislations, that cash payment method was disabled because US is a delivered legislation. They don't have any cash payment methods. That checkbox was disabled. That's the reason I am unable to see here. Suppose you are in your implementation, whomever you are implementing, that client is, that particular country is not delivered by Oracle. The legislation is not given by Oracle. Then you can enable in that particular configure payroll legislations, whatever payment types you enable, those things will be enabled here. Then you can use, it's up to you whether you wanted to use it or not. It's a secondary. First of all, you have to enable there to see that option here to create your payment method. Okay. Suppose I am creating a direct deposit. Direct deposit is nothing but your bank transfer. And then currency, US dollar. So you can select, okay, I am using this payment method. Okay. But from which bank? If I'm using this bank transfer method, obviously there should be a bank account, right? From that bank account, employee salary should be paid. So that you can enter that information here, but you can link here. Payment source. You can link here. So you just give a name here, abstract bank transfer. Now here you are going to select the bank name. See, this is ours, abstract. So I'm using, this is our bank account. Now you can give your reference, company reference, maybe you can say some reference number. When I'm paying salaries, it's going to show this reference. Okay, maybe you can set a transaction limit. Okay, maximum amount of money allowed on a single entry. When I'm paying salaries at single entry, what is the maximum limit I can enter? Payment limit, maximum amount of money allotted for a single electronic fund transfer file. So this information also you can enter, but it's fine. See here, I have created this payment method. And when I attached this payment method to the employee, so all those people are getting salaries from this, whatever bank account we have entered here. Okay. Then you say submit. Similarly, I am creating another payment method like check payment method. I will tell you why. It is mandatory to create abstract check payment method. Here check, I'm using check. Currency is again US dollar. US dollar again here. What is the bank you are going to see? I'm using same bank account for my check payment method or check pay. You can use reference number. So remember one thing, when you are creating payment methods, yes, obviously every organization is going to have bank transfer as a payment method. We know that. Our payment methods are how many? One is this one is ours, and this one is ours. 2019 we have created. Fine. So what I'm saying here, okay, remember one thing, when you are creating your payment methods, it is mandatory to bank transfer anyway we create, otherwise we can't transfer salaries to the employee accounts, right? Now coming to the check payment methods, it's mandatory to create either check payment method or cash payment method. It is mandatory. I will tell you why it is mandatory in the next steps, but for now, remember that it's mandatory to create check payment method or cash payment. If cash payment method is not available in your legislation, it's mandatory to create check payment method at least. I will tell you why in the payroll configuration, payroll definition configuration. Okay, that's what your payment method is. Next thing is consolidation group. So creating consolidation group is not a big thing. It's very small because you don't have any. Yes. See, when I'm creating a consolidation group, it's nothing, just a name and a LDG. But the purpose of consolidation group is to group your payrolls under one particular consolidation. For example, in your implementation, you have multiple payrolls. So what multiple payrolls in the sense, I have monthly payroll, I have weekly payroll, I have bi-weekly payroll, I have, quarterly payroll, anyway you don't have. So like, or manager payroll, clerical payroll. So like that, you have a lot of payrolls. And when you are processing your payrolls, when you are processing employee salaries, employee payroll, so you have to run the payroll individually. Suppose I have 5 payrolls, run 5 payrolls separately. You have to run it. Anyway, we are going to see how to run the payroll in the end of the session. So when you are generating your reports, so if I'm using this consolidation group, so it's going to group all your payroll, whatever payroll you define under this consolidation group, they will be consolidated, especially in the reports. So basically this consolidation group is used to consolidate your payrolls under one name. Okay. So creating consolidation group is not a big thing. It is just a name here. But how you are going to use this consolidation group is what is important. That's it. See, name and legislation. That's it. Save. Done. You're not doing anything other than this. Save. Done. But how you are using this is what important. So anyway, when we are defining our payroll, we are going to use this consolidation group in the particular payroll. That is called your consolidation groups. Now I'm not covering from now. Tomorrow I will start rest of the session, but I will just take you to the payroll definition for now. So what is payroll definition? Why we create payroll definition? So basically payroll definition is, as I said, a person is having multiple payrolls. Let me just use this. What is payroll definition? Why we create this payroll definition? This is to differentiate your employees by how they are getting their salaries. Example, I will go by example. There are 100 employees working in an organization. Okay. So out of 100 employees, 60 people are getting salaries monthly. 60 people are getting salaries monthly, like in India. Remaining 40 people are getting their salaries bi-weekly. Especially in the US, if you see, they get bi-weekly salaries. Then how are you going to differentiate these two people? Especially when I run the payroll, how system differentiate, okay, this person's salary should be processed monthly and that person's salary should be processed bi-weekly. How does the system know that? So this is where you are going to differentiate that. You are going to create those payrolls individually, separately, and you are going to attach this corresponding payroll to the corresponding employee. Suppose I am a monthly employee, in my assignment screen, monthly payroll will be assigned to me. When you are a bi-weekly salary person, you are going to get a bi-weekly salary payroll as a payroll definition in your assignment screen. So when you run the payroll, system identifies, okay, monthly salary is being processed. So whoever belongs to monthly salary, only those employee salaries will be processed. Okay, again, payroll periods and all those things are going to be defined here. So tomorrow we are going to see this. I have actually one session here today. It's a ad hoc session, so I can't avoid. So we'll see things tomorrow. Any questions in today's class? We have another 3 minutes or 3-4 minutes. You can ask me questions.
So element preparation.
Sorry?
Elements creations.
Yes, element creation. So what is your question?
First of all, I'm asking when are you going to
Yeah, I'm covering one by one, right? Still we are in the payroll definition. We have to go to next week. We will see elements.
I have some doubts in fast formulas.
Fast formulas, I think you go through that videos, right?
Yes, but Nalu mentioned that if you have doubts, ask.
Your voice is not clear. I don't know who is speaking. Can you clear a little bit? I mean, can you talk a little bit clear? Some noise is coming. Some disturbance is coming.
Nalu sir told us that if you have any doubts in fast formula systems, ask in the payroll session.
Yeah. Once I am done with the payroll, I will take one complete class for your doubts and clarifications. Sure, I will. Okay. Just note down whatever doubts you have. Anyone, I'm talking about all of you. Please note down all the doubts, whatever you have in the fast formulas. We will have a separate session, 1 hour session to discuss all those doubts and clarifications in fast formulas. Okay.
Srini, while you implement the payroll, is there any sequence you have maintained or anywhere there? Like first, what we need to detect that we have the payroll drawn. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. So you could just share this list with us, like once.
I think this file might have been shared to all of you because this file is already there with Ravi.
Okay.
Check with your, whatever mail that you got from Ravi about files.
Okay.
This file is definitely there. Not only payroll, you have here in your absence, you have global HR, all these things are there. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Anyone else has any questions? So, okay, if not, I have your elements. So again, payroll tomorrow, completely 1 hour it will take payroll and elements. Only these two things it will take 1 hour. I don't have any sessions tomorrow, so I may take 2 hours continuously tomorrow, no issues. Then again, balance definition, yes, all these payroll elements, balances, and then salary basis. These 4 things will take 2 hours. Then I have event groups, object groups, and then we can check the fast formula also on Monday, so that will take another 2 hours. Then we can go ahead with our employee transactions, like how to attach payroll to the employee. All those things we will see on Tuesday or Wednesday. That's it pretty much I have. Okay. Okay, that's it from today. Any questions, or else I can just close the session. Okay, so if you don't have any questions, good. We'll see tomorrow same time, 10. Thank you.
Thank you.